Okay, try again.
Don't worry, I got it.
No, but I mean try again, like restart the stream. Like yourself.
Oh, yeah, I know,
You
I
said
know.
things to
I did
people.
say things to people. But what I didn't do was blame Patrick for my sickness, which I should. Patrick, how could you? How could you? This is the third time in 3 months that I have been sick, and now I don't know what it is, but I know what it's not. It's not flu. It is not strep throat. It is not COVID. So it is just a very sore throat. But believe it or not, these medications that we got, Jesse, they really, really work.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I sent you me.
Oh, I know. And I
Okay.
got you, me. There you are, pretty girl. I love you.
I love you too, David. Okay, so yeah, we've had a heck of a day, and David's sick. I'm off on the wrong foot because I have not had time to eat, and I am starving, and I have to wait for 2 hours now.
There's this Radiohead song I got. I'm stuck in my head. Get there, you can get relief. You know that one?
No,
Relief.
but I'm
It's,
glad you interrupted my tirade on being hungry to sing to me.
It was a B-side, and there was a live version. I think they eventually recorded it. Oh. I'm not going to say what that just reminded me of, Jake. Madeline is wondering if you could eat something on stream.
With the amount of complaints we get by eating Kopiko, no.
Oh, but don't worry, Jonathan isn't here.
It's not just Jonathan. It is not just Jonathan. There were, in fact, many complaints, and some people have even cited they stopped watching because they couldn't handle it. So,
Thank goodness we're better off without them. Hey,
is.
Danielle. Yeah, no, Jonathan put in for, Jonathan provided a sick note. So Jonathan is not here. Somebody else is not here. It's Miles.
Why isn't Miles here?
With the new mic, it's a bit worse, in my opinion. It's a good question as for why Miles isn't here. Miles has no excuse whatsoever.
Well, Danielle, you are not on microphone. And so you get to eat. I get to wait until after streaming.
Okay.
Let's talk verbs. We did some things. We did a poll. Did anyone remember to vote, or did anyone have time to vote?
Oh, they're all voted.
Yay!
Okay, let's just oh, the old Discord. I'm gonna quit Discord.
Stand in the background. Way in back.
We don't need that open for the time being. Where's the other one? Oh, it's right here, of course. You know something I learned today? Just a stray thing. Apparently, the entire notion of the private investigator was invented in 1830 or 1833 in France by one dude.
Huh.
Like,
He was just like, hire me.
basically.
I'll solve your crime.
And he invented single-handedly like all this stuff, including like ballistics. He did the first plaster mold of a footprint. Like, how has this not been a movie or a series? This guy sounds incredible. And he's got a weird name too. It's one of those French names that has like a C and a Q in it. You know those? Okay, well, that's not news. I'm gonna hit the focus do not disturb button, and I'm gonna go down and take a look at our poll ski. The poll results are very, very clear, and so that's good. Nobody told me what Radiohead song that was. Um,
Oh, and I take all criticisms personally. That is me.
what do you mean, did I mean ballistics? That's what I said.
Yeah, that is what he said.
Yeah. And there's the name
Ooh.
Eugène François Vidocq. And
Is that how you say that?
yeah, it's just like, I don't know. They think maybe if it ends in a C, it's not going to be hard enough. But yeah, I mean, right? Eugène, right? François Vidocq. Looks pretty.
Are there a lot of CQ names in French? In French?
Sometimes things end at a CQ. And
Exactly, magpie.
You just have to accept it.
Okay.
There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. It's very conlangy.
Okay. And NCQ. It's an older spelling. If this is right, Quebec used to be spelled with a CQ.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, yeah.
Click.
And look at that. I pronounced it just like the IPA said on the Wikipedia, see?
Wow.
Only, that's funny, Magpie. Only I will say, where it says in IPA that French has this vowel, it's really this. Like,
Oh, I'm curious to see what vowel you're popping up.
yeah, it's where it says it as open O. In certain circumstances, it is absolutely carrot. It's like they've never even heard open O. It's kind of like Finnish. It's like they've never heard U.
Patrick says there's already been like half a dozen films about this person. So,
Were they just none of them any good?
I don't know. I'll look that up. You were getting to, I think, something LangTime
we gotta
related.
find out what that Radiohead song is. Come on. Radiohead lyrics.
Well, his work is what
Last
inspired several writers, including Victor Hugo and Edgar Allan Poe. Good
Edgar
Lord, I should
Allan Poe.
not be allowed to talk today.
Don't give me Poe, you're Edgar Allan Poe.
It's too French. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, it was Last Flowers, or Last Flowers to the Hospital. That's a great song. I think they did record it as an LP eventually. Last Flowers, where did that appear on? Not on In Rainbows, I don't remember.
Oh. Huh. Do you know he spent time in prison? He was a criminal. He knew stuff because he himself did things.
Well, he was accused of something, but then, and 5 years in prison, but then he appealed it and they exonerated him, I thought.
Well, he supported himself by committing small frauds.
Oh, little
I mean-
bitty frauds.
It's
Fraudettes.
5 years of prison worth.
Un petit fraud. Or un petit
Okay,
fraud.
anyway. I haven't gotten to the section where he's in. This is just his life. Ooh, okay.
Zutalo. Okay.
He's apparently mentioned in Moby Dick. In chapter 88, Schools and Schoolmasters.
Oh, I'm not surprised. By that chapter, I wasn't paying attention to the references anymore. It was too high on the excitement. That book, by the way, is just like pure adrenaline.
There's a black and white silent film. released in 1909 that's based on Vidocq's memoirs. And then several other films came out after that that were based on that.
I want to see. I want to see a British series with like over 500 episodes where the real life Hercule Poirot plays this guy. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, nothing we would have seen. But yeah, there are movies about him. Okay. How'd that poll go?
It went. So, I'm glad that I apparently put together a coherent poll because I was not feeling it. I was very in the sickness when I did that, and it seems like it came out okay. So well.
I thought it read
Yeah.
well. There was only one place where I asked for a little clarification because I got confused, but that was because I got confused.
Yep. So every single option got votes, not just like single votes, but everything got votes. So that tells me it was good. There was a clear winner. So we're talking about participles, and the reasons that we were talking about participles is that we needed the active participle in order to form the imperfective tense. That would help us to finish out our verb tenses and allow us to move forward with the conlang. All right. So
We did make it to March 2026. There was some doubt as the February was ticking away, and we weren't sure the calendar was going to move with us, but it did.
You like those clock gestures?
It
Look just like a clock.
signifies where February went because I'm very confused. I was talking to my friend Kay the other day, and I say my friend for the rest of you. David knows very well who Kay is.
They should know too. Kay came and gifted everybody memberships to our YouTube channel. It's crazy.
But in her mind, she was like, "Oh God, this year has drug on forever, and like, haven't we been in it for 10 months?" And in my mind, I was so like, time has gotten away from me that I said, "Oh, that's something we should check in like March, right?" And she kind of paused and was like, "Well, yeah, later in March." And I suddenly was like, "Oh my God, it's actually March already." Like I 100% thought it was beginning of February, and like March was a whole month away.
Ça marche. Marchons.
Is it le temps marche? Is that how we say time marches? Time walks?
Ça marche le temps.
But anyway, so yes, it is March. We made it, and David is alive and well to read us these poll results to find out how our patrons voted with these participles.
Yeah, and per tradition, we're going to read out each vote and indicate who voted for what by name and Social Security or NIH number. Anyway, the options that we provided for you were that we already have a strategy for turning anything into an adjective, or rather we have adjectival endings. And they're regular adjectival endings. So it's either ie or hie, a or ra, all low tone. And so one option was to have one participle. You just take any verb root, throw on the adjectival endings, and you get a participle that is either active or passive. As has been discussed on the stream before, this is possible, first of all. Many speakers of a human language might balk at this. Say, how on earth could you have a participle that could be either active or passive? They're as different as night and day. Yeah. But it actually does work. There's a language called Tibetan, spoken in Tibet, and their participles are both active and passive, and it's also how you form generic adjectives and also how you form possession, all with the same thing. And yeah, context just tells you which one's which. Seems to do a pretty effective job. So that was option A, totally lightweight option. And so yeah, that was how we were going to do it. So that was option A. Option B was that we were going to do that for the actives, but mark the passives specially. And so the active participle is just the adjective endings thrown onto the verbal root, and there it is. And then the passive participle will be something. We're going to do that this stream. All right. And then option C was that we actually have something to mark them both. So separate little markers for active and passive, and we will do both of them on the stream. So those were the options. Kind of surprisingly, A came in last. Surprising in the one sense. Surprising in that our patrons love confusing things, but they detest simple things. They're like, which makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of conlangers are like, everything has to be marked. There's got to be thingies everywhere. And so, you know, Jake voted for A. And Jake, I'm with you on this one. So it was really duking it out between B and C. Two of the polls were tied. One of them showed one of the options ahead. In this case, it was the confidant poll. So those who are familiar are not going to be surprised that B is the winner. So we have one basic one and one marked one, and that's the passive. What this means, I put up a little pros and cons section. It means that there isn't necessarily going to be an option to distinguish a bare verbal root resulting in some kind of a stative adjective. It will be interpreted as an active participle. Yeah. 3 times now I have tried to scroll David's window. What? This is what we should be looking at. Anyway, so yeah, B is the winner. And so we need to make ourselves a passive participle, but we can also do up the verb tenses or senses or whatever. What am I doing? Pages. And if I've been leaning a lot like this, so I've been leaning out of frame. I gotta lean like this. Well, then I'm leaning out of frame. I just need to stand up straight. Oh. Would I look good with a little bow on my head?
There isn't much to attach it to. Like, you would have to pin it to your hair instead of pulling it up, because usually when you put a bow on, you're pulling it up. And if you did that, you wouldn't have the hair down. So, like...
I just think I would look pretty with a big bow.
I guess we could do, like, one of those bows that go, like, kind of around, like, headband bow.
Yeah. The Cepacol leaves a strange aftertaste.
Oh, I'm sorry. But did it numb your throat like it's supposed to?
Oh, and also the side of the cheek that I was sucking on.
Maybe you should vary it side to side, or only do it on the side that
Side to side.
like hurts worse.
Thank you, Cinnamon. Cinnamon knows I look pretty.
All right.
So Magpie, by the way, is asking, will the passive participle be the same as the regular verbal passive? And that we don't know yet, because we don't even know if we're doing passives. This is all open to questioning. Also, I don't think that the stems one makes sense for this language, so I'm going to delete that table. Now we're ready to enter.
What table did you just delete?
The word
Oh,
count.
the dictionary. Oh, okay. I was up above in the little verb note section, and I was confused.
Solo tengo que decirte, el dolor de noche dice.
Okay.
Verbs. So we got that, we got that, we got that. So, okay, we need both swoop and the participle form. We could do swoop first since it's attaching directly to the verb. And then, well, I guess that presumes that the participle form is going to be suffixal. I guess I kind of assumed that since our modifiers follow the things that modify them, but it really depends on how we turn a verb into a participle, doesn't it? I want to grab my notebook.
I'll grab it. You stay
Okay.
sitting.
Oh, that's nice of you.
We
You're
had
very nice to
done.
me sometime. No, you're not.
Did you just qualify that with sometimes?
Well, yeah, but if you're nice to me also all the time, you're also nice to me sometimes.
Interesting.
No, now I
just got dissed.
no, now I feel bad. I didn't mean to say that, or rather, I didn't mean the way that you thought it. You know. I mean, I meant it in a nice way.
All right.
I'm kind of here. I'm kind of not. Oh yeah.
The poll was focusing on adjective participial forms rather than the participle itself. Is that correct?
Oh wait. I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody's said this in the chat. This is the active participle, so we don't need to worry about that.
That's okay. See, that's what I was
Yeah.
just following up with because I
I'm
was
sorry.
like, didn't we just
sorry.
decide through this vote? But then I thought maybe I was missing something. Okay,
Yeah.
so we just need swoop then because the verb is already going to take on a sort of active participle reading when it's not otherwise modified.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a game, an older style board game. Yeah, I'm sick again. Third time in 3 months. Like a 70s old style board game. Same time like Othello came out. And it was a game where like you were just two players and you had like little guys, and essentially like at certain times you would step on something and then the floor would fall out. Do you know this game? It might have been called On Thin Ice, but anyway, I'm actually surprised that there isn't a modern game show that's based on it, where they have people like, you know, who have to walk on things, and literally at times some of them will just fall and they'll fall into freezing water, and then everybody, you know, laughs at them. That kind of seems like the vibe for modern game shows. But yeah, was it called On Thin Ice? Or
There is a game called Thin Ice,
is it old?
but it's like marbles that break ice to fall below. And it sounds vaguely racist. Ethnicist.
Oh.
Players take large Eskimo tweezers
Oh, that doesn't sound,
and place marbles on the ice up top.
doesn't sound familiar. Let me go take a look.
It's not what you described, but there is a game called Thin Ice, and it's really unfortunate. But see, these are the tweezers.
Oh, no, that's not it. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, see? Little.
No, that's unfortunate. I'm glad that we don't have that on screen. No, it wasn't that. My grandfather had it, and it was a grid board.
They've apparently updated it, and now it's penguins playing. That's
Okay.
much better.
Okay, but it was a raised platform, but there wasn't anything below. And there were just these like little plastic squares that you put in.
Icebreaker?
Um,
No, that you actually hammer. You do have players on the ice though.
these were okay. Cinnamon's saying don't break the ice. That might be it. Where's Board Game Geek?
Oh, can we advertise something else that has recently joined Board Game Geek?
I think. I mean, it's on there, right?
Oh my God! Now I'm. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. I'm linking it.
You know what? I think this was it. I think it was Don't Break the Ice. I'm not seeing the old board that I remember, but I think it was. And now I'm going to go to that, and then I'm going to put it up on the screen.
And I'm putting a link. This is very exciting.
Oh. Okay. So yeah, we're going to take a minute out of our conlinging to share this. So John Quijada, creator of Ithquil, who you will all know, speaker at KobeCon 1, has really gotten into board gaming recently. And this isn't his first game, but there is a game that he created that is going to actually be published. It's called Laboratory, Glory or the Gulag. And this was a game he initially described to me, and I thought it was great. I thought the idea was fantastic. He had mentioned, and this is true, by the way, I've never actually seen it, and so it would be interesting at the very least. The old series Mission Impossible, this is a television series from the 60s. It's been turned into a huge movie franchise with Tom Cruise, but it was based on a television show from the 60s called Mission Impossible. This was a Cold War era show in black and white, at least initially in black and white. And they created essentially a fictitious Eastern Bloc country that these spies were always trying to infiltrate. They didn't want to say directly that it was the USSR, so they created something like it. And as a part of the show, there would be, words of things that would look vaguely Eastern European, but weren't actually a specific language. John really liked this idea, and so he thought, why not create a game in that setting where there are essentially these kind of like fake Eastern European looking-ish things, and you play a scientist in this Eastern Bloc country trying to either complete a super project for your side or defect. And so there's multiple ways that you can win the game, and you're competing scientists trying to do one or the other. And it was a lot of fun. We played it a couple times. There were a bunch of changes that happened when it went to the publisher, and so there's a whole backstory there. But the point is that it's actually coming out, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, he came up, by the way, the currency he came up with was the ruble krona, and I gave him an idea for how to come up with the currency symbol for it. It's a K plus the backwards R, which is ya in Russian. Anyway, but yeah, it's actually moving forward. And so that is really just super exciting. You can find this on Board Game Geek. Jesse shared the link. But yeah, pretty cool. Anyway. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with everybody. And thanks for reminding me, Jess.
Uh-huh. That was big news.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Genovia is, I guess, the name of the country in Mission Impossible.
Or is that the name of the country in
No,
Princess Diaries? That's, fake European country.
Or was that the name of one of the fake Eastern Bloc countries in Marvel?
Thank you, Tethys. It is Princess Diaries. That's what I thought, but
What's the one from Marvel?
Oh.
Where the hot Olsen sister is the one.
I don't remember.
Elizabeth
off the top.
Olsen.
No, I know.
Sokovia.
Sokovia. Okay.
Boy, there's an. This is, by the way, this is how we need to explain triconsonantal roots to English speakers. Genovia, Sokovia. Basically, the root is fake Eastern Bloc country, and you just swap out the consonants.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Okay. Let's get.
Okay, so
Let's get batty. All right.
for this swoop prefix,
So it's going to be. There's going to be two forms: rahie or raha.
So with that, if I remember correctly, a coda R can do some interesting things to a vowel. And so anyway, I'm looking at forms for swoop. And so I was curious to know what would happen if it was UR or IR before the verb, or if it were glottal stop AH, which I know is very different, but it could also be, I or U, just with the glottal stop and then the H. Just thinking about things that could kind of get shortened or reduced as prefixes, or could interestingly make new forms.
I don't remember what you're saying about the coda R.
I thought it did the uo or the ye.
No, that is when it's long. Coda R. Sorry, I'm in Lexergy. It doesn't look like it's doing anything.
Well, that's unfortunate. What?
I know what you're thinking about. I know what you're thinking about.
Oh my God. And I'm like, there's a very specific memory of forms changing. Never mind.
Yeah.
God, David.
Too many lang-langs.
Just toss me out.
So if we do a pre-nasalized consonant coda,
Okay.
it gives a falling tone
A hat.
and a mid-vowel. For a and u, they both become o, and e becomes e.
Well, I think we need the S. So let's do E, and then
Okay.
do a prenasalized B. What does that do? Imb.
Yeah, so let's...
And I know there are no other definitions of tosser, Jake. I know there's one and one alone, because especially in Britain, you wouldn't take such words and do anything with them.
Here's the thing with you English, and I'm including you Essex. You can't just keep making up insulting terms from like very basic English words and then get mad when other English speakers just use them like normal.
I don't even know what's happening outside. It sounds like there's a giant sifter of gravel, and they're just like dragging it from side to side to see what sifts.
I think this is something that, England, and you know what? I'm going to throw in all of Great Britain, all of those English speakers. I think they have a lot in common with Japan in terms of their relationship to their language, right?
I do want to, before you go on though,
Yeah.
Jake doesn't get mad. Jake gets amused.
That's true.
There are, of course, other speakers who get mad, but
True.
Jake is not one of them. Go on.
But it's like there's a lot of creativity in Japan when it comes to in Japanese, and that is Japanese speakers' uses of Japanese with onomatopoeia, and then also with like coming up with like novel words to just become new pronouns. And I feel like that is what happens with like Great Britain and their use of English, and just constantly coming up with new slang, whether it's insults or just kind of like cutesy ways of referring to things. Just like, it's just like, you know what? It's been 5 years and we've been calling this for 5 years. That seems a bit long. Let's come up with something else. And the rest of us, we can't keep up. The rest of us English speakers out there in the rest of the world, like, it's just too much. Anyway.
Okay. What happened to?
It's very
I-
quaint, though. I really
IMB?
like it. I was going to say this is kind of the fun thing. So with the infinitive, perfective, prospective, and habitual, at the moment, there's no agreement between any noun and it.
This would introduce a small level of agreement,
Small level of agreement,
which is kind of cool.
only in the imperfective. It is kind of fun.
And only with class, not with anything else that
Yeah.
it could agree with.
All right. Let's see something.
What are you looking at?
Interesting.
You're making lots of faces. I don't know what's going on though.
Interesting. Okay. So, what happens if you do this? Oh,
So, if you want us to see what you're doing, we're not on Lexergy.
no, I know.
If you enjoy making,
I enjoy it. Man, you know,
Okay.
like I'm kind of feeling like myself now.
the medication is kicking in.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, and hopefully we timed it just right so that tonight you have a better night than last night.
Yeah, the
I-
pain in my throat was just unbelievable.
I was kind of scared last night.
I really thought I had strep throat and that the antibiotics were just going to knock it out. If you say a random word
It is true.
angrily enough, it's a cool new insult. I have to say the coolest new insult that's come out, I don't know if this is past 10, 15 years, is Muppet. It's so devastating. Love it.
What were we saying the other day? We were saying something, and I swear it was with Meridian, and we thought it was so funny, and we were like, that could basically be a new swear, and so we were just like saying it as if it were a swear, but it's not. Something big is happening outside.
Can you all hear that? Because it is a big noise. Tell me you can hear that.
But like, what was it?
I don't remember. I have a vague memory of this, but now I don't remember what that was.
I feel like we were outside and we were all kind of giggling about it because it was just really funny. Yeah, no idea what just happened. Are they
Okay.
power washing?
No, that's
No.
supposed to happen tomorrow. Like
We're all still parked. Okay.
the cement is still drying.
Okay.
Anyway, oh, I didn't even recognize that Miles was here. Oh, Miles.
Miles came
I'm so
and said
happy.
yes. That
I'm so happy you're here.
I kind of want to go outside and just look.
This is like one of those movies, one of those horror movies where you're hunkered down inside the house and like something's going on outside but you can't hear it, or like you're in a closet or something.
How about you divulge some forms?
You gonna do
I
it?
Seriously,
You gonna do it?
see.
Oh, Jessie's gonna do it. She's gonna see what's actually going on outside. I can't wait for this.
I gotta put on my outside shoes. Actually, they're yours because they're the little sliders.
All right, everybody. What did you get, Jessie, for March 6th? As you know, that's the big day on LangTime Studio. It's Jessie Day, so too bad it didn't land on a stream day. But you know, you still have time for your presents to show up. So, you know, make sure that they show up. I don't want to be the one to tell her that you all didn't get her presents on Jessie Day. There's a Spanish calc. Tereñeco? Tereñeco? As in like muñeco, but with television in it? How is that a calc? Muppet is monster puppet. Gosh, I'm so curious. She's probably walking a ways. It's probably down there. It's. I think it's always even more alarming when like a huge sound is actually really far away. Okay, she's back in. It looks like the same Jessie.
A changed person has returned. They are like power washing the front part by where our spot is up there.
Huh.
The uncovered part.
Okay. I thought the cement hadn't dried yet.
Well, they did that cement first. They did the back one second. And so it should be dry, but like what we were hearing wasn't even the water. It was like it's like an air duster, but giant and industrial. And so that was just air that we heard coming out. And they have the hose, so they have someone up top with a hose attached on an external spigot like ours right outside our house.
Yeah.
So whenever they do this side, I have a feeling they're going to attach the hose here, and we're probably going to hear because all that water is going to come from like right there.
Oh boy.
And so I think when it's being power washed, it's actually going to be quite a noisy thing.
Yeah, because that's the
Hopefully
thing.
they
It's
don't
supposed to
do
happen
this side
tomorrow.
tonight.
Everybody's got to move out of the.
Well, the main part's happening
Okay.
tomorrow. I think
Okay.
it's just the uncovered spots.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
Woo. Okay.
All right. So I want to just bring you into what I'm looking at. Bearing in mind, this is the imperfective. So it's going to be used a lot. If we have something that ends with an MB,
When you said bring us into what you're looking at, were you thinking I would be able to see Lexergy?
I was thinking I would put Lexergy on the screen, but now I'm not sure it would be helpful. It matters when this stuff happens, right? I guess not. Anyway, it's kind of fun. The MB turns into a W before vowels, but then like it stays and does stuff before consonants, but it seems a little meaty, as it were. And so like, can we just like mess with time and say that we kind of like the epenthetic W when it happens, and then when it doesn't, we just pretend it's not there.
I mean, absolutely. This is literally, look at the history of a lot of, suffixes, prefixes, and you look at where they came from, how they're developing, and the bits that get glommed on get eaten away unless there's a reason to keep them. And like one reason to keep them is that that's the stressed syllable, if that were the case in this language. And by stressed syllable, I mean like it always is, where if you have a language where it's like it doesn't care, it's a prefix, your first syllable, you're getting stressed, that would be less likely to degrade. But like, absolutely this would degrade, and it would become more regular in the sense that like, even if it's an irregular verb, chances are over time it's going to be more regular just because that's what speakers do.
All right. So, yeah, that's the other thing.
By the way, in my personal belief, when you're dealing with things that are grammaticalized, Lexergy is very useful to see like how did the form shift if it stayed full form. But like I always think you should kind of take that with your own notions of how this form might be simplified before it ever became a grammaticalized unit in the first place. And by that, I mean like how it totally lost its meaning and became this little thing that was attached or put in a phrase. You can't take the human out of that.
Mm-hmm. It's like whenever you're calling, you got to take a step back and ask yourself, are we human or are we dancer?
I don't actually, if it weren't going to be noisy outside, I would say we should open the window. It actually feels warmer outside than it does in here right now, and I feel like opening the door would warm you up a little, actually. All right. Grammar parasites. Yes. Okay, so David, yes, I agree. I think or not agree. I say yes, let's do it.
Right.
Where you get that W being retained,
So,
but otherwise the end of that word gets reduced.
so what we're going to end up with then is let's see. Because the end just shows back up. All right, so then this one, it's allomorphy, shall we say, is going to be do, tune. I missed it.
Oh, the other day I was going to say you were going to be so proud of me. There were two things I did. And I forget what the big one actually was. The big one was actually a really big thing that I was like, oh, David's going to be so proud I did this. The other one was super small, and it's the one I remember, David. Little gnat, very small, and that's important because the smaller it is, the harder I think this feat becomes. I one-handed snatched and got it. Little gnat. One-handed snatch. Anyway, I was very excited, and I was like, I can't wait to do this other thing so then I can go up and tell David I did two things today. And now I don't even remember. And this was like yesterday, and I forgot both until just now. Anyway.
All right. Jess, for fly. Are we going to do so this is before a consonant. Are we going to do this or are we going to do that? Just for this one.
Oh, and this is before a vowel, right?
Yeah, before vowel.
Okay. Do we have any that have a vowel?
Hang on a sec. You know what? Ah is strong in this language.
Yeah, so I was just thinking it seems to make sense that one would stay a full syllable.
Okay, and so then this one, I'm just going to put the vowels in for right now, just so that we see what we are working with. Is going to be that, or and then this will be right.
Low tone?
That one is low tone, yeah. So,
Okay.
Bearing this in mind for swoop, do we want to throw a consonant in there, or do we want to say it starts with a vowel?
Let's see. Since I was on my R kick, maybe it should be R-I-M-B, rim. Or AH, that would be an easy one to drop out to say why it's lost. Him.
Oh,
Or
I wasn't imagining the consonant would be lost. I mean,
no, for this inflection it is. Right?
well, so you think it should start with a vowel?
Oh, you're asking if we should like change this inflection so that it's consonant initial.
Yeah. So right now, what we have here is a suggestion that the protoform is I prenasalized B, which is fine for a root to mean swoop. I just thought, since you came up with the back half of this, if you had an opinion.
Oh no, I think it should be vowel initial for
All right.
the prefix.
All right.
Because one, it's really different from everything else we have, and two, it again, like being something that's used so commonly, it seems to me to make a lot of sense that in a lot of cases it's just like this single vowel tossed out front, with of course the participle form, so it's gonna have a bit of an ending. Which all the more reason that this is tiny, like just a vowel. Ooh, and yes, state grammar, Danielle. Enjoy.
Oh,
choir.
bye, Danielle. Thank you so much for being with us in grammar. Well, guess what we did, Jesse?
We finished the verb aspect marking system.
It's all
for
done.
now.
It's all done.
And then we can start thinking about passives.
Yeah.
Um,
Let us celebrate with Copico. Oh,
did you hear my stomach?
not my best.
Did you show everyone your shirt?
I didn't. I don't know if I can see it now. Jesse got me this shirt. I didn't know. I saw it like just recently that this was the mascot for the Montreal Olympics in '76. And it's like, it's a beaver and he's got little rainbows on him. And I was so charmed by it. And then Jesse bought me a shirt. It has it on it. I was so excited.
And David found that and sent that to me the day we left for our trip. So I couldn't order it until the shipping arrival would be after our trip. And so I literally was holding on to it. And every time I looked at like an internet tab and you were beside me, I was like, I hope we didn't see that, because it was clearly pulled up where I was going to end up hitting order. But I had to wait until it was late enough. And so, yes, I was very excited about that. That's why I didn't wait to give it to you on any sort of occasion. I was already too excited.
I was very excited to receive him. Okay. Here we go. So I'll take a moment to remember David Bowie and everything that he did for us. Okay.
Oh, and also, Jake, thank you. Did you not want to cheers first?
Bet I do. Cheers, partner.
I added a P on swoop. Thank you for pointing out the swoo. That was up there. Bats like to swoo. Back and forth, you know what I'm saying?
Copico brought to you by Swoo, the choice for a new generation. Swoobat is a Pokemon. You can only evolve those things if you like beat like 50 raids while it's your buddy or something. Oh, Bibleridian. From the top rope. Speaking of misspellings, Bib says, in the script I'm currently writing, I just misspelled domesticator as comestivator. One of the big differences between my personal YouTube channel and, say, Bibleridian's is that Bibleridian writes up a script, he reads it, he does several takes to make sure it's nice, I just hit the record button and go. Oh, that's right. Woobat. Woobat evolves into Swoobat via happiness? What? Hang on a sec. On Pokemon Go? You sure about that? Yeah, there's Woobat, and then there's the original bat fella. Zubat. You have a teleprompter, Colin Langery? George? George is a teleprompter?
This says that Woobat evolves into Swoobat when fed 50 candies after walking 1 kilometer as a buddy Pokemon.
Huh. Okay, it seems that I have indeed evolved a Swoobat. So I'm all right there. Never actually made it my best friend as a buddy, though. Okay. So we're all right. We're all right. I just gotta catch this ghastly here, and so everybody hang on while I do that.
Do you know what has kept me? Because there have been times I've been like,
serves me right.
there have been times I've been like, I should do Pokemon Go too, because like everyone else does, and I could, you know, we go walking together, and I would have a thing to do and motivation, etc., etc. But you know what keeps me from doing it? I hate the mechanism for actually throwing and catching the Pokemon, because I always like. It frustrates me to no end when I'm like, that is not how I tossed that ball. And there it goes, flying in its little arc in a different way, and it frustrates me. So anyway, I get so frustrated that I realize that this is not the app for me, because I would be angry every time I was catching Pokemon, and that's the whole point of the game.
Well, I mean, you'd get used to it, you'd get better at it, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, this is so good. God, I love Copico.
We need to talk about passive participle. Was that going to be a suffix?
Well, now you've joined me in the question from before. I don't know.
Where did we theoretically place it in the Patreon poll? I feel like it was in between the verb and the EA, or the night and day class marking.
It was, yeah, it was.
I mean, not to say that we have to stick with that, but
And
it is
again, I
something to think about.
And I didn't want to say like it should be this way because of this, but my thinking was head initial language, modifiers follow the things they modify, and so I figured it would come after. But that's not the case if it derives from a verbal construction where you have verb.
Okay.
In that case, it'd probably be a prefix. Now, as I recall, the other day, you had some ideas about sources.
Oh, yeah, my semantic idea is to make it mean like to echo or bounce back, because
I shouldn't write those down there. I should write them here.
The whole idea
bounce.
was...
That was it. Bounce.
Yeah, because like it...
Bounce.
It turns, it makes the action come back on someone instead of going forward.
Okay. So, for example, somebody asked if this would be the same as the passive form of the verb. We hadn't really discussed if there would be passives, but like I could kind of see bounce plus infinitive equals passive, but infinitive plus bounce plus adjective equals participle. Whereas this is kind of understood itself to be a modifier type form, which would be at the very least interesting.
Our other ones were.
Not bounce for reflexive, bounce for passive.
Mm-hmm.
I will echo that there doesn't seem to be enough of a difference between Switch and Switch 2 to warrant things like having to get an upgraded system for a Pokemon game, but they're going to do what they're going to do.
Well, that's how there's not enough difference, which is why they have to get you to buy it through other means, including games only releasing exclusive content on the Switch 2. Otherwise, there is no reason right now to get Switch 2 instead of just sticking with or getting a Switch 1.
It's also kind of funny that we're continuing the cycle of, oh, you got to get a new machine because it has to have better graphics, when I would say in the past 15, 20 years, we've seen a real step back, which is something that I anticipated, by the way. That is, graphics getting better and better and better and better. And people getting tired of it. Mm. And suddenly, like, the most popular games right now are things like Stardew Valley and Hollow Knight, which are very consciously saying, we're going to go backwards in terms of graphics. We're not going to be trying to do absolutely high-end 3D stuff. We're going to go backwards in terms of gameplay and in terms of graphics, but see what you can do with that medium. And that both of them have done something really, really cool with it. It's very unique. So yeah, it's like, you don't even need that. You don't even need the graphic stuff they're doing anymore. It's like they imagined all everybody would ever play would just be like NBA 2K or Call of Duty, and they're just trying to get it more and more realistic. It's like, nah. Or FIFA. Okay, sorry.
With the noun class markers, is that something that when we enter in Lexergy, we leave a space and it gets glommed on, or is that something that goes on very early? I don't remember.
There's a particular way that you have to put them on there, and it's not necessarily the full form. This was the whole thing behind the poll that was associated with a very particular table. Gosh, I hope we didn't delete that table. It was the orange table.
Oh, we deleted all those.
Okay. But
this one
on page 21.
Okay.
So there was a thing where it was like there were a few of these where we were asking which forms do we want here? Do we want the short forms or the long forms? And we decided on the short forms. And so the result of that is you can't actually just throw it after that. If you throw it after that, you end up with the long forms, but we voted for the short forms. So basically just use this table here, this orange table that says earliest, and kind of just copy it.
So in the evolution of this language, let me reframe this. In the evolution of this language, are we thinking that these glommed on pretty early?
Yeah.
Or a little bit later?
Early-ish, I thought.
Okay. But not so early that the form... Would it have taken stress away?
Yes.
It does. Okay. Would it make sense? Because basically...
Shoot.
If...
No, yeah, it's right there. Yeah. Shoot. No.
We good?
What? I was trying to figure out... with these example forms, I was like, would any of them have actually taken stress? But it's like the da forms would always take stress. It's kind of weird. Why don't they always have high tone? Do the coda glottal stops not count for stress because they get deleted too early? Same with H? Huh. That's interesting.
Okay.
George spots us making a mistake and is like, I'm going to go now.
So
I don't know how to answer your question, Jess. I'm so sorry.
okay, sorry. Because what I'm trying to work through in my head is thinking through, we've got the verb potentially followed by this other verb that's going to lose its meaning, followed by a class marker for agreement to create this participial form. Out of necessity, stress would never be on the verb itself because that's too many syllables. And so it's just like, I know this can happen in languages. I know that inflections take stress. It was just a question of, is that something that we want to think about to say maybe it's always a prefix? Like, why not just have, bounce verb is the passive interpretation, and then bounce verb adjective marker gets associated with, that as an adjective.
I suppose it could. But those adjective markers are actually late. They're not early.
Okay, because they basically just mimic what they see in the noun, and they just attach them.
Yeah, and it's done in a reduced way, but it's also done in a very regular way. So it
could be separate entirely.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I guess we should just play around forms. I'm losing my train of thought, and having candy has now made my brain buzzy and my stomach hungrier.
You want to go cut up an apple?
No, because I don't want to eat on camera, and I don't want to just like rush and try to get back. And so I just want to make it through 47 minutes, and then I'm going to go eat.
I can just shout at you while you're in the kitchen.
No, because then I'm going to rush, and then, So I think we just need to play around with forms.
You did raise, though, an unfortunate question about nouns, because I don't super remember how we did that. And so once we get back to the point where we're actually coining nouns, I'm not going to remember how it was done. Essentially, maybe I can do this off stream. I'm going to do whatever I can do to reproduce the forms in this orange table exactly, write down those steps, and then apply it to others, and maybe expand this orange table so we have the endings for other consonants and stuff. Then we'll have a pattern for making nouns of the future. That was my bad there. Okay, but back to bounce.
I mean, I feel like we had done enough examples. Wasn't the whole point that these would become suffixes that, they're formed based on what it ends in? Lexergy may not give you the right thing because it's a suffix, but...
Well, where this is going to be important is not going to be the form of the suffix or even the consonantal stuff that happens before the suffix. It's going to be the tones. And so, like your question, for example, of whether these things attach early or late, immediately is important for tones. Because it's like, all right, if they're the same word, and let's say that you have a weak vowel in the root and a strong vowel in the suffix, If they're the same word from the beginning of time, well, the first one's never going to get stress. But if it's not that, maybe it does get stress. Suddenly that changes the tone. It also changes the quality of the vowel. So that's why it's important. And I should have written that down. I see you, Magpie.
Based on what we have just preloaded into Lexergy, I think we put in a space, and then I'm gonna play around here while I feel that we may have an answer already preloaded into Lexergy based on.
Before you get into that, can I ask first if we like the idea of using this to make a passive actual verb form and also a participle, but the change between prefix and suffix? Do we like that?
I'm good with that. My concern was about like the recognizability, if that makes sense. And that was entirely it's another thing that I, as a conlanger, struggle with sometimes, where it's okay if things aren't as recognizable. That's what happens. That's all.
So I think the ordering of this should be tense aspect, passive, root, and then of course optional adjectival marking that would appear on one of these. I think that if we don't, I doubt we could get to it and finish it. The poll might end up having to be negation.
Okay.
I really need to get my hair cut. It's tough when you look in the mirror and you find yourself beautiful. And it's like, how do I risk destroying that?
Destroying that? What?
How can you take a chisel to Michelangelo's David?
But you're always beautiful.
It would be so cool, by the way, if my mother told me that she named me after the statue. I would love that.
Okay.
According to your icon, Cinnamon, you look in the mirror and go, that's such a cute pup. What was the name of that dog again? It was like 2 or 3 streams ago that Cinnamon told us the name of the dog. Trouble. That's right. How could I forget that the dog's name is Trouble? Oh. What a cute little pup.
Well, I feel like I figured one thing out, but nothing else. So I'm really not doing anything helpful. I'm sorry. Let's do helpful things. And
Look, sometimes you got to figure something out for yourself. Like, you know, if you can't remember, I get that. It's all good. You just be you. Keep looking pretty over there. I'm looking at you.
Okay. We'll figure this out later.
Yeah, I'd almost feel normal, but there's a little rawness in the throat, and my head just feels a little bit hazy.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling normal enough to be able to do this. Okay.
Boy, Cinnamon sharing some important information here. Cinnamon says, I may have a photo of him in a trench coat with an old man cap on. I would love to see that. All right, what I'm going to do is... I'm gonna, okay, so this, regardless of what comes after it, what's gonna be coming before it is N, glottal stop, and MB.
I think they are entered as one form.
What are?
Oh. Suffixes.
Got it, okay. I'm going to tell you, based on what I'm looking at, I think that, like, for example, I just put nda at the end to get the form that I wanted.
I don't know how to get tones to work.
Yeah, we may be in
trouble.
trouble.
Wait. The hat in Lexergy is the first vowel marked, second vowel unmarked.
Yes.
It works. Okay.
Woo!
I misunderstood what was happening.
Right. Here, so like if I can highlight this in Lexergy. What this means is that it's high, low. And it just puts the hat on both of them. It's not important to fix. We could actually do a rewrite rule where it's like two hatted vowels in a row results in high-low, but I don't know.
And that one doesn't have to change at all. Okay. Yeah. So they're entered together. We did take some codas off, so that way it didn't pull the stress. And we shortened, if it was a long vowel in the suffix, we did shorten it. And so that happened. But I'm just putting these as Lexergy notes here. Okay.
Error, you say? Obstruent voicing. Oh.
What? Okay, I need to look at what you're looking at now. What do you?
Just 1 second. I wanna see something. What? Oh, how interesting. How interesting. Oh, Jesse. That is fascinating to me. What happens if we do this? Oh my God. How about that? Oh my. So, Jess, if we have a sequence of a voiced stop followed by a voiceless stop, it devoices the voiced stop, but it doesn't assimilate in place.
Okay.
So what that means is we actually have P in this language.
And we didn't think we did.
Yeah, we didn't think we did. And so that's why it was giving the error in Lexigy. It didn't have a P.
Fascinating.
That is so cool. I'm actually adding it to our IPA chart right now. It is a green P.
I'll need to add that in the Lexergy file. I don't want to do that until you're ready for anything you've been using to be wiped.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. And the reason why I was just throwing in a CVC form to see what would happen after each of our little prefix guys. And yeah, the first one, it gave an error. This is so weird. This actually reminds me of Jadavier, where you have the sequence glottal stop followed by T, and it results in D.
Except that one wasn't. It was. I remember. I know what you're talking about. And it does. If you follow the sound changes chronologically, it makes sense what's happening. But if you look at the protoforms and the modern forms, it makes zero sense, and it's like so counterintuitive. And so when David was working on the orthography, we spent a lot of time going over permutations of how things changed. And that even got me going, wait, why does that happen? But again, if you follow it through step by step, and if you're like fresh off the sound changes, it makes total sense. But when you're trying to review them 7 months later,
Yeah, and
like there are so many times that I was almost like, just throw them all out, start over.
and it's been percolating, and I think like the orthography that we presented, it's not going to change, but I think the spelling for certain things is going to change. The spelling rules, I think it's going to have to. But okay, so I found something pretty cool. If it begins with if this form for bounce begins with either ta or ka, actually maybe with sa as well. Let me check.
Jake says, nothing like waking up to the smell of fresh sound changes in the morning.
Yeah, ta as well. Then something kind of fun happens. So you get that P, right, in the top one. But you end up also, any form that has the ndu part in, you end up with a click. And then with the other one, you end up with the intervocalic form. So like for ta, that's S. For T, that's D. And for K, that's G. I'm going to throw in KH as well. Oh, you don't say. Oh, sorry, I put in the wrong thing.
Woo, one too many consonants.
Yeah. Okay. So, this raises a fun little question that I think I want to throw to everybody, including you. What seems most fun for these consonants to just randomly show up when there's a passive? All right, so, and I will remind everybody what these stand for. No, it's not quite that, Jake. It's just basically if the first consonant of bounce is an obstruent. I don't even know if I want to say that. if it starts with some kind of a stop, then it ends up producing interesting reactions because there's always going to be a tense aspect prefix before it. And that tense aspect prefix either ends in a nasal, a prenasalized stop, or glottal stop. And it ends up resulting, it produces a cool interaction.
Because the passive wouldn't just appear on its own. It's going to be passive and
Exactly.
imperfective, passive and perfective.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, basically, depending on what you decide on, if it's going to be or ka, you will end up with and duh. So, and duh, and sa, and ga, or and kha.
But just the fricative, not the affricate, right?
Yes, I'm sorry.
That
Well,
felt
and
a
kha. Yeah, that was totally.
little affricate-y.
It was affricate-y. And the forms specifically are, you'll get the voiced or fricative one in the prospective, so the future. You'll get the click in the perfective and the habitual.
Okay.
And then for the imperfective, that's the one where the P shows up, and we'll have to figure out what we're going to do there.
All right, I have my vote written down.
Oh, Afrikitty, the phonology cat. I like that. All right. Man, it's too bad. I think we have very few viewers right now, which is too bad. They're missing some good stuff. What to do?
You know your camera's on. Making all these faces.
I am both super and not myself right now. You know?
I'm sorry.
I'm like super myself and also not myself. I'm both of those things.
All at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Patrick trying to get in good with me after sickening me. We all know what you did, Patrick. I don't even know why they let you own a germ cannon.
Okay. So the top two were tied, right?
Yes.
They were tied until they had to assign one as the top winner because YouTube has to have 100%.
Yeah, so basically the result is an initial which results in or s, or initial which would result in and g.
Okay. So my favorite that I wrote down my vote so I can show you was the G and the double line.
Oh, well, how about that? All right.
And so
there it is.
that's why I was asking. I was like, wait, technically they're tied, right? If I get to be a tiebreaker, that's what we're going for.
All right. So then that solves one mystery. So it's going to start with cool. For the vowel, you know, one of the reasons I keep coming back to A is not that it's strong, but that it doesn't have any weird stuff happening to it. It always ends up short, you know?
Right. But I like for bouncy.
Okay.
Because it's the adjective, right? Not, or sorry,
Yeah,
it'd be adjective anyway. Just the stop, though, not the affricate.
And what bounces to you? What's that final consonant?
One moment while I refresh my memory on what's actually in the protoforms, because it's not that many.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be. It's got to be a stomp.
Okay, it's got to be a stop. Gives us at, at.
You know you want to.
Just a glottal stop. Whatever sound is in the word boing. Well, that's a velar nasal.
It could be a G, which would be a pre-nasalized G.
No,
that feels a little too stuck. You know, like it feels like that's getting stuck in the mud, not bouncing.
Okay.
Ooh, do it with the TS adjective at the end.
At.
Okay. I like that. And the glottal stop the best.
Okay. So. Oh, right, we're still getting that error.
Last week. Did Let's Have a Booba not stream last week? Wait, wasn't Biblaridian with Madeline on Monday and not Jake last week? Was that last week?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I can't remember this week from last week. Jonathan and Miles, that's what happened. Okay.
I think it should be the glottal stop.
I like that. The TS feels heavy in the sense that we would need to do something with it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then, it's going to be like this. Don't you diggity dare. That's it to bounce, and then that's going to be that. And the thing is, that is never going to occur. So it is going to be either G or X. Oh, wait. Actually, or K. And then we'll have to discuss this. Okay, so now, if you can, it would be helpful if you could enter the P.
You ready to lose access for a moment?
Yeah. Jake, are you familiar with the song "Oh Superman" by Laurie Anderson? Minor musical hit here in the United States, but apparently a #1 in Britain. And when you hear the song, you'll be like, wow, this was a #1. It's very Laurie Anderson was kind of an art rock avant-garde artist who did a lot of story-based stuff.
You should be good, babe.
Yeah, it's a type of thing where like people are all like, "Oh, Kate Bush was all cool and weird," and it's like, yeah, Laurie Anderson was like Kate Bush times 1,000,000. But also very sardonic, but
is sardonic the right word?
cutting, biting. Is that the word that sardonic? Is that what sardonic means?
I didn't know if that's what you meant. I don't know when you said.
Well, let's find out. I find myself wanting to use that word more than. Yeah, scornfully, mocking, or cynical. Yeah. Anyway. You know that song from TikTok? Oh, jeez. Anyway, there's that part in the song. It's so funny. They're American planes made in America. Yeah, you're right, Patrick. The British aren't good to aren't used to having actual good music. I mean, what even artists were there in Britain? Thinking of like the 60s. Who did they even have? Nobody.
You're diabolical.
Okay, let's actually hop over to Lexergy like little bunnies. And come la sangre, come el cuerpo. Okay. Ipka.
Did it work?
Yep, sure did.
Yay.
Okay. So now the only question is, yeah, so it's always going to be high tones. That's good. Now the only question is what to do about that imperfect form. So it's very exciting that it introduced the P to us and that we know it's a part of the language, and that is cool. But it is also the lightest form. And so my feeling is that like epka becomes ekka becomes eka.
There would be other places where the P would persist, right? Like we're not just creating the P to kill it.
Okay. No.
Okay, yeah. In this, I agree, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so recently there was a LangTime chat challenge whereby people worked with forms and whereby entire conversations were had on Discord, where it's like something like epka, like that feels fine to say, but then something like ekpa like feels a little bit like backwards. I think it was really with the T and the K that this really came up, where etka versus ekta, like it can create differences in comfortability and thinking about would that persist or what would happen to it. Anyway, I am working still with my language that I did for that, my little language sketch. I'm kind of like expanding it and having some fun with it. And I introduced some more sound changes. And one of mine, because I did not like the way certain things sounded altogether. But with mine, I did a Dothraki move, and that was dissimilation.
Oh yeah.
Before another stop. So before a stop or a nasal, a stop becomes a fricative. And so instead of like etma, you would get ethma.
Ooh.
And, or, etka, you would get ethka. And so anyway, I remembered that from Dothraki compounds. And I was excited to use it.
But yeah, to answer your question about P, I mean, it'd be rare, but like a perfectly like acceptable proto root would be, for example, VCCV. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you have V, prenasalized B, followed by a voiceless stop, it'll come out as P.
Okay.
Actually, I'm wondering if it would do that after the TS as well. So yeah, it'll show up. It will only show up. Yeah, EPSA. Oh, wow, that's actually a really interesting form. So prenasalized B, TS A, which is just what I threw in, is is ipsa, 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 because it's short, long. Wow. Ho, 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 ho. That is exciting. There's some exciting stuff happening in this language. All right. So we are, I think, actually kind of in need of a table because some of these forms are going to change, or one in particular is going to change depending on whether it is active or passive. So we are coming to the point where we need to discuss negation.
Okay.
And I'm going to, just so that I don't forget, the prefix surfaces as sorry, in the passive only. Unless we want to expand this out and say that there's different prefixes before before other consonants. But it could be the type of thing where it was regularized across the board for when it just occurs before a vowel root. I'm sorry, a verb root, since there could be anything for that. But it was retained in the inflection because that was much narrower. So yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so negation. So there is the overarching question of if negation is going to be a part of the verb root or separate from the verb root. And so like, maybe I'll actually jump down to negation for this. Option 1, separate and final. So here you have sentence, and then you have negator. And then it's just done. Option 2, separate and initial particle. Negator. Verb complex. Rest of sentence. Option 3, negative verb. So we have negative verb, auxiliary, then presumably subject. Did we have subjects in this?
Wait, do you mean do we have a grammatical
form?
subject?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Because well, we have agents and locatives. Goals, destinations, patient-like subjects, experiencers, and agents are marked differently than the core expected.
What page is that?
Noun function, page 11.
Oh, I had an idea. Oh, it does show participant cursor. Oh, okay.
Okay. I also have an idea.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it with our verb notes. right here. And this can just be deleted if you like it, because we can adopt it. Oh, why is it underlined? Why do I want things underlined? Pages. Okay. We don't have the second verb yet. Okay. To get the form that you had, it doesn't have to be a compound, but we can make it a compound since we already have the imb. And we could have this little verb where if you swoop touch, like you touch wings as you're swooping.
Oh.
That means to like hang out or fly together. And so then that would be the za.
That's cool. I like that. And then that's just going to be a word. Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah. And then za, we don't have, again, like that isn't a word we've created yet. So that would be a new verb for us.
Mm. Oh, yeah. Patrick over there trying to pretend that he hasn't been a part of improv comedy at least one point in time in his life. Nobody believes you. Nobody believes you. Spend 2 minutes with you, and it's like, oh, yeah, this guy's done improv before. Oh. So I'm going to write core there. And then get a prefix, so then that's just going to be probably going to be negator, and then
everybody is questioning whether that was an insult. A lot of people are anyway, based on the comments. But to me, if someone says you've been in improv, like that means you're quick on your feet, and that's a quality I wish I was more of. And so I take it as a compliment. I have no idea what spirit David intended that in. But like if you're quick-witted, which is something I feel David is, and I always feel a little bit like when he's with his friends, it's so like fast fire quick-wittedness that I just sit and watch.
Man,
and it's too much. I can't do anything because I can't be quick enough.
And our abilities have degraded over the years. But
David does have big improv energy, and it's one of the things I like about him. And so to me, that's a compliment.
It's also very interesting to me to think about the Jesse I know from my own experience in life and the Jesse that Jesse describes, because they're very different people. And it's like one of the reasons that we sit here today is because the very first time that we tried something out like this, which was the star-crossed recording for us working on episode 109, I think it was, of Motherland Fort Salem, where we got to the end of it and I realized we weren't recording, and so none of it was recorded. It was so good. So good.
Well, and
like
it gets to maintain this pure goodness because we don't have the recording.
This is
because
true.
it's not there. So our memories get to make it even better and better as time goes on.
This is true, but then like we did it again with like the last episode, and it was still fun, and that's up there. You can listen to it. But like that first one, it was so good, and what really impressed me was your comedic timing. Like that was one of
Would
the
you
things
call
that
that
impressed me the most.
quick-wittedness, or would you call that a sort of American dry humor? Not dry humor of British style, but an American dry humor of like enough sarcasm to bounce off you and make you interested in hearing more.
Either
There's
way,
a difference.
look, maybe there's a difference, but
I feel lost with your friends.
timing is very crucial, and you had it. You had it, and you still have it. It's brilliant. Honestly, it's just brilliant sharing a stage with you, sharing a stream with you, or just listening to you.
Well, thank you. Um,
There's actually a pretty funny commercial going around right now, just because the actors that they have to it, they're doing it's a insurance commercial, but the insurance commercial is that some of the insurance agents are at an improv comedy show, and the improv group is asking for suggestions from the audience, and the suggestions are really bad, and all have to do with very specific insurance things. But the actors they got, oh, they're so good at playing improv actors. It's like you can just tell by looking at them, just the way they, do that type of thing. It's like, oh yeah, they know it. Oh, Patrick, I actually get that, the way that you did that. So I'm going to try to read this joke the way I believe Patrick intended to write it. What's the most important part of comedy? Timing.
yes, no, I got it based on how it was written.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So I feel like we could almost explode this list.
We could, but should we?
I know.
I mean, because if it's going to be separate and final, it could also be a suffix. Like it could glom on, yeah.
Yeah, and it would actually come after the optional adjective form. But I'm also wondering about its position inside the complex. It depends where it comes from. Because it's like, that's one option. But I think that this is another option. Right there. Right before the verb. I also don't think we need the italics. The bolding is enough.
I have some ideas forming, but they're not going to come to fruition on stream.
Yeah. Option 5 also leads to the potential option of having negative participles, and just it leading generally to a negative, like little prefix that could be used with adjectives. But I think I'm gonna just add underneath these source anything, source anything, source verb, same thing. here, same thing here. Source, most likely adverb. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so to build into what you have,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put a potential. And I think this one could come from the same one. Now, I have two different verbs here because in my head, where this one kind of becomes like it's an auxiliary, so it's kind of a bigger like
Mm-hmm.
heft, and so something blows you off course. So it's like you're not, because it's like the core with the infinitive is sort of like the main thing that's happening, and then something blows it. Like it's not, it's blown away. Gust of wind has taken that off.
All right. I like that. I also like your other idea. I'm going to pump the brakes a little. We use to land as the perfective.
Okay.
Now, there could be two different verbs.
Yeah. Because then that one was, like I land X, I stop X, which of course is why I chose it for perfective when I did that.
Could be
But
perch?
something else. Oh,
How do you describe it when a bat comes? Because like it's perching for birds when they're doing it this way. What happens with bats when they're doing it that way?
that's a good question. But I also feel like there's something. I'm going to take away land. Because it's like there's something that's itching the edge of my brain where it's like
Roost is right
land
on
was
it.
kind of wrong a little bit, because it's like what I want to say is, in the same idea that something could blow you off course where it's like you don't even get a chance to do it, like you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
It's not that this ended, it's that you're choosing not to fly, or you're choosing not to participate. You're Xing it.
You like refuse. You hold yourself back. You stay in. I don't know if there's a single verb that captures this idea.
I mean, I guess here.
Could still do roost.
I sleep X.
Okay. No, that works.
Something like that, where it's like it's the choice
I'm just going to throw on to roost.
to roost. Okay.
Okay.
And then, with these being, potentially anything, we could even have entire expressions that get, reduced. And so we could end up doing something bigger here. But this at least gives us something to like sink into, where it's like, here's where they would occur and why they would be different, because the semantics of the understanding are a little different. And this would be closer because the agent is the one choosing not to do the verb, however the agent is marked in that clause. Whereas this one, the idea is that it grammaticalized from a way of saying that it wasn't in your hands to choose not to do it. It was like this, whether the agent is the core argument or something else, it's like this didn't happen because, it was blown off course. Like it wasn't even given a chance.
I'm going to throw out to wait, specifically with the idea that it got strengthened. In other words, and what I was in particular thinking was, it's like, hey, do you want to go to the movies on Saturday? Be like, let's wait.
Yeah.
Where?
I feel like that'd be a great source for the negator particle for options 1 and 2 as well, where it's like, wait. We wait. We wait. I kind of like that.
Yeah. All right. Wait. That's cool. I like that. Huh. This is kind of a fun little factoid. Jake posts from Wikipedia. Most megabats roost with the head tucked toward the belly, whereas most microbats roost with the neck curled toward the back. How interesting. How interesting. Okay. I think that we're in a really good spot. Something that we could do that we haven't done yet. We figured out all of this prefix stuff, but we didn't figure out the actual participle. I feel kind of bad about that.
That, I think, I think we'll get there. Right now, we've been streaming for 2 hours. We're
Okay.
good, and our day can get on.
All right. On
Food can be had.
shall we get. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm glad that I was able to put together a mostly normal stream for you.
You are like 180% better than where you were yesterday at the same time of day, and so thank the heavens for the medication doing their job, because based on how you woke up and how this morning went, I was very concerned, and so woof,
Right on.
things are happening.
Well, stay grammar, everybody, and we will